Welcome to podcast everyone. Today we are going to discuss about BUDI95. I'm your moderator, Khairul, and these are our guests today. So from the left we have Mr. Kenny. Next to him is Mr. Khairul, and right next to him is Veronica. Okay. First of all, we would like to thank our beloved lecturer, Ms. Salina binti Muhammad Desa, for her persistent guidance and encouragement that led us to today's podcast. Also, we would like to thank everyone that helped us up to this point. Thank you very much. Everyone, give a clap to everyone. Alright, back to our podcast. We are here to uncover the topic of BUDI95. If you are curious about what we are discussing, and love good and honest chat, you are in the right place. Let's get into it. Okay, so when we talk about BUDI95, it comes to mind that BUDI95 is a targeted subsidy program. This program was launched on September 30, 2025 that aimed to provide more affordable Road 95 petrol to eligible Malaysian citizens. So, my first question, Mr. Khairul, what is the issue that we can see for BUDI95 subsidy today?
Okay, first of all, thank you to my friend Kenny and Monica. For me, this is a very good initiative by our government, but there are many issues that we have to counter this issue. There are awareness gap, there are digital divide, and eligibility confusion. For me, many citizens right now don't know how to do a registration for BUDI95, especially in rural areas. Elderly people also struggle how to use the online system. This contribute for the awareness gap. And then for digital divide, those without smartphone or internet, this also contribute for the eligible in this BUDI95. For example, a farmer in Sarawak may not have internet access, so he missed out despite being eligible. So right now we must counter how to register our citizens in rural areas, so they can use also this good initiative by our government in BUDI95.
Okay, thank you. So next, Mr. Kenny, do you have any other issue regarding BUDI95?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Khairul. I think today is the challenge of making sure this subsidy reaches to the right group of people. Some people who really need help face difficulties with the application process, while others might misuse the system. So there is still confusion about the eligibility requirements and how the subsidy works. Turn out to be the dissatisfaction among citizens. So the government needs to improve the monitoring and communication system so that this targeted subsidy can be managed more fairly and effective for the society.
Alright. So next, Madam Monica, do you have any other issue?
Okay, so from my points of view, one issue regarding BUDI95 is difficulty. Difficulty is not only for the rural area, but also for the urban area. This is because when it's come to involve with the system, so of course it will be involved with the internet connections and everything. So if we want to make it easy, when it comes to technologies, the senior citizen is the first one that will come with this issue. Everyone knows when it comes to technology, day by day there will be new system upgrading. So for the senior citizen, it will become one of the issue for them. So they don't know how to do the registrations. Maybe there's certain registration they can do, but maybe it's not complete. Once the registration is not complete, in the system it will become unfair to the rejected application or the complete registration. So once it's not complete and not registered, so the certain senior citizen or certain people, they were not applicable for this BUDI95. Thank you.
So, for me, the issues regarding BUDI95 are some groups missing out on BUDI95 subsidy. They are unlicensed rural vehicle owners in the village and small towns. Also, there are some areas in our nation that are still using river transportation such as boats. And next, a group of people with valid identification card, in bracket, my card, who can claim the subsidy because of clerical database error from the system are also excluded from the BUDI95 subsidy. Lastly, elderly people face difficulties with the digital verification process in the subsidy, thus creating another exclusion group that did not enjoy BUDI95 subsidy. So, let's go to question number 2 here. So, question 2. So, moving on to our next discussion, still on BUDI95 topic. Based on what we discussed, what are the implications of BUDI95 subsidy to the people? What are the harmful effects, disadvantages, positive consequences, and advantages that you see from the implementation of BUDI95 subsidy? Okay, we can start with Mr. Khairul.
Okay, for me, there are some positive and negative that we can see. Right now, government also spend billions to recover back the subsidy. Also, right now, we can see our price is going up because of war between America and Iran. So the subsidy, government subsidy is very spending billion ring to our country. But in positive, families save money for essential like food, education, and healthcare. So the money can goes to benefit their own family. For the long-term risk, also we can see this fiscal strength if price goes up. So government must ensure this money really help our people. And so this can give more benefit to our people. For example, right now, the war between America and Iran can contribute oil spikes globally. Malaysia budget could be more heavily strained. So in the next budget, government must take care of this subsidy, either to continue or not. But our government is very taking care of the citizen. For me, so in future we don't know whether the subsidy is still continuously. But for benefit of our people, we can buy fuel with oil price right now. It's very expensive, but thank God because our country give a subsidy, and this is good for our country. Okay, thank you.
So, Mr. Kenny, does anything come to mind about this?
Yeah, I believe this BUDI95 subsidy play an important role in reducing the cost of living, especially for the low and middle income earners, whereby they can have more purchasing power for other necessities and essentials by lowering the fuel expenses. So in conclusion, a well-targeted BUDI95 subsidy can support economic stability and social welfare. In addition to that, this subsidy helps to stabilize transportation costs, which indirectly control inflation and the price of goods and services. However, the subsidy must be managed carefully to avoid excessive spending for the government and to ensure only the one that is eligible to receive this.
Okay. So, Madam Monica, anything to add?
Okay, so in my opinion, this can give both positive and negative impacts. So as you can see, first for the positive sides, of course, it will reduce the leakage. So when this comes to leakage, it's either smuggling, the petrol smuggling, or we can see the foreigner comes to our country and then they smuggle some oils and then they sell to the rural area. We never know, but these things did happen before. Just that when it comes to BUDI, these implications and then the positive is become more strict when it comes to the petrol purchases and everything. So it will help more disabled people like the P40s or the families that really in need. And then, but when it comes to negative impacts, we can see that there's certain requirement for the BUDI's implications. So the negative part is the middle income people, they are not eligible for this BUDI. So, but that also affects with the economies, especially the price increasing. But then they are not eligible to do the BUDI registration because of the certain requirement. That is the negative impact. But as you can see, maybe this BUDI95 that can help the government save money, but the some middle family still feels the pressures in there.
So, from my perspective, BUDI95 subsidy has brought us many impacts to us. The difficult thing is, BUDI95 relies on my card and driving licenses for verification. So, for people who come from rural areas, they are excluded from the subsidy because they do not have the official documents to identify themselves. The good thing about BUDI95 is that by using the MyCard and the driving license to identify themselves, of course, as a verification process will reduce fuel smuggling cases, as you said before. So this can prevent abuse by ineligible business, thus increasing efficiency of BUDI95 subsidy to majority of Malaysian citizens. Okay, so let us move to question number 3. So we have discussed implications just a minute ago. So now we know that BUDI95 subsidy enjoyed by most of the citizens of Malaysia, as we discussed before. Now let's talk about the benefits of BUDI95 subsidy based on your observation, Mr. Khairul. What can you see?
Based on my observation, right now, the BUDI of 95 is very to give benefit to family. Also, this benefit give to T20 family. Even though B40, M40, T20 also has a benefit to use this BUDI95. This BUDI95 can create daily travel affordability. This family and workers can commute without stress, and the fuel price even spike up. They can use the BUDI95 to buy their daily oil for daily fuel for use every day. That's I'm observing. But in Sarawak also we have very advantage like diesel. We just buy for RM1.99 only. That's my point of view, benefit of BUDI.
So we move on to Mr. Kenny. Is there any benefit of BUDI95 subsidy that you can share with us today?
Yeah, that's what Mr. Khairul mentioned earlier on. So one of BUDI95 subsidy is that it helps to reduce the financial burden of Malaysians. My observation is that this subsidy could support daily transportation users such as workers, students, small business owners who depends on fuel.
So, would you like to share anything?
So for me, the biggest benefit is that the assistant become more focused on the young who truly need support. Because this BUDI, when it comes to BUDI implications, everything, of course, the first thing is the positive impact. Why is it the government implements this BUDI95? Of course, there are certain targeted, and then to control the economy, financials. So because the government want to make sure the economy is stable, so that's why we want to stop the smugglings of the petrols or these foreigner. So the main the good impacts on this BUDI is being controlled right now. Even though it's still not stable because it's still the new system, the new application. Of course, it's not stable yet, but the control in there already. So this is one of the good impact that we can see on this BUDI. It's not everyone can enjoy for this BUDI, but there are certain targets, the government target that is very good impact for them. So it's bring the maybe not the whole day benefit, but the benefits is there already.
So to conclude all of the points, from what I see, viewers, BUDI95 subsidy helps strengthening economics in Malaysia by allocating the resources solely to Malaysian citizens. At the state level, more money can be spent on local infrastructure, public services, and development projects. This will also benefit the society. How? This means more development of roads, highways, schools, universities, hospitals, and etc. As a result, quality of life and the country's human capital can gradually improve, which ultimately benefits everyone. So let us move to next discussion. Okay. So we have touched about benefits of BUDI95 from all of our guests here. So BUDI95 is an amazing program that our latest Prime Minister introduced to us as the Malaysian citizens. From your point of view, Mr. Khairul, how can we improve the BUDI95 subsidy effectiveness to the society?
Okay, as we know, some of the rural areas are very getting problem when registering this benefit. So awareness campaign like use TV, radio, and community leaders to spread the information. This is very helpful method to deliver this government initiative to our people that are in rural areas. Also, we can make a simplified registration, make it easier for elderly people and in the rural areas. For mobile outreach, for me, set up the counters and in village, so people at the village can use this counter to register themselves for BUDI95 eligibility. Thank you.
Okay, so next to Mr. Kenny, do you have any thoughts on this?
The government can improve the effectiveness of this by making sure only eligible people receive this subsidy. So by this way, we can reduce misuse and save more on government spending. Aside of that, the application process should be simple and fast so that more people can easily apply to this. Then it is also important to make sure that this subsidy really helps the people who need it most. And I believe a fair and well managed system that can make these subsidies more effective for our societies.
So, Madam Monica, is there anything that you want to add from the points that they've given?
Okay, so if it based on my observations, the government should make the system more easier and more accessible to everyone. Because when it comes to everyone is involved with the Malaysian economy's impact. So either it's for this BUDI or either it's from others' economic perspective. So as we can see here, the first thing that government should do is to improve the online system. Like Mr. Khairul and Mr. Kenny said just now, that this BUDI is supposed to, there is more, go to, for example, like we go to do a campaigns about the BUDI for the rural area, to expose them, to do, for example, like do a mini campaigns or mini workshop or whatever about this BUDI, help them to do the registration, to make the kampung people, it's more easier to make complete registrations and everything. So the more awareness campaigns about this BUDI involved in the rural or urban area is very familiar with the BUDIs already. But to make it easier for everyone's need this BUDI95. It's not only for certain targeted. So this is the thing that government should improve for this BUDI.
So we have heard from all our guests today about the issue of BUDI95. So for me, for my opinion, based on my observation, I would love BUDI95 subsidy to be improved from time to time. So my suggestion is that the government should work together with the NGOs and the community leaders to issue alternative ways to verify the overlooked or unintentionally excluded group of citizens without valid my card in BUDI95 fuel subsidy system in the future. The government also could channel the reported 7 billion ringgit savings generated by implementing BUDI95 fuel subsidy into unconditional sumbangan tunai rahmah or SPR and SARA to the state. So, okay, as for the conclusion for my dear viewers, we have heard from all of our guests the points to uncover the topic of BUDI95. So we can say that BUDI95 is a manifestation of our government to reduce subsidy leakage and other issues as we discussed before. I hope that from this discussion podcast we learned something from it and helps us to be a grateful citizens of Malaysia. Thank you all for coming today. Okay, thank you. Alright, and thank you for tuning in, for viewers, and hope you have a good day. And to our guests, safe journey home. Bye.